What common beverage brought us the pyramids, pasteurization, and germ theory? It's beer. I've asked for the help of the Dean of Beverages at the Institute of Domestic Technology, Daniel Kent, and he's invited us to his lovely cabin here in the San Gabriel Mountains to teach me the right way to make beer.
Hi Matt, do you want to come make some beer?
I would love to come make some beer.
Why don't you come up the front steps over there?
Yeah, all right. Welcome to season 2. There are 4 things you need to survive.
I don't like the death. I don't like the death.
Deadliest plants on the planet. So always be very careful. We got to get this thing done. This stuff in a disaster situation is a lifesaver. You don't have to leave the city to connect with Mother Nature.
I love it, I love it, I love it.
Happy Oktoberfest.
Happy Oktoberfest to you.
And we are here to make beer.
That's right.
That's why we're here.
Right.
So why don't we find out a little bit about beer?
Okay, so there's 2 different types of beer, essentially 2 different families, ales and lagers.
Okay.
And those are coming from the activity of 2 different types of yeasts. Ales
yeast and lager yeast. Ah.
And I've decided that a brown ale is probably the way to go for these wild ingredients. I think they might be complementary.
Okay.
So you brought those.
I brought the curly duck and the rose hips, but the wild sage, the mugwort, the buckwheat, and the horehound you actually have in your backyard.
Ah, so we're going to go pick them.
We're going to go foraging
and come back.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Let's go. So you taught a cocktail class to a bachelorette party?
Yes.
That must have been interesting.
I don't remember. Is this a sagebrush?
This is a sagebrush. I see there's some young stuff, there's some older stuff. What do you think would work better?
This one smells more strongly than this one does.
Okay.
But sometimes it's nice to have kind of a balance of the fresh and the muted.
Wow, I like the word choice. Nice.
Thank you.
Now you said we have some hops that your sister grew.
We have some homegrown hops, so we need to augment it with some natural bitterness.
This stuff, I can tell you from what I've made, is very bitter. It's horehound, and it gives a nice bitterness at the end. So
we're gonna do a 1-gallon batch, so maybe half of that.
Mine is obviously bigger than yours.
But mine is thicker.
Man, you're quick. We want to get some buckwheat and some mugwort. Oh wow, you weren't kidding.
And mugwort, correct me if I'm wrong, was used by Native Americans for purposes of getting trippy dreams.
Yes, if you have straight mugwort beer, you'll have some pretty trippy dreams after.
Well, let's pick a lot of it then.
Let's do it.
Into the bag.
There we go. Now we need
little buckwheat, right?
Little buckwheat, and you can tell it's ready to go because it's got that nice rust color.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
And so that's ready.
Now this is not going to be nearly enough though, right?
I know of a big field up there.
Okay, well let's leave this guy alone. Let's go get that.
Let's go get it.
Cool. Do you ever do anything with the acorns?
No, do you know who this is?
This is Urban Nature Gal. She made me dance in a grass skirt while we were in Chile, so this is my more German-themed Oktoberfest revenge.
Sounds fair to me.
Thanks, babe. And you know, what the heck, it's Oktoberfest.
Why not?
Thanks, Urban Nature Gal. I'm finishing up one of my first beers on probably one of the most beautiful decks I've ever been on. We're looking over the valley. It's incredible. Daniel is setting up our first step of our beer making process.
So what I have is a mixture of about 4 different malts here. The dark ones are called chocolate malts.
Okay.
The sort of medium ones are called crystal malts, and the pale ones are called pale malts.
Okay.
Oddly enough.
Go figure.
We're going to put all that together with your buckwheat and your curly duck in that pot.
So just the grains will go in first?
Just the grains first. What this requires is a very narrow temperature window between 150 and 155 degrees Fahrenheit.
5? Oh,
There's
okay.
enzymes in the barley that are going to convert the starch into sugar for us.
If it's too low, they sleep, and if it's too high, I'm guessing they die.
Exactly. So we're at like 165 here, just about on the dot, so it's time to put in the grains.
Okay, that's on the high end.
That's the high end, but I know that the temperature is going to drop once we add the grains.
Okay, because the grains
Have their own thermal mass.
Thermal mass?
That's right.
Pretend I speak English. What is thermal mass?
All these grains are at room temperature. Think of them as...
Okay, so when you combine room temperature with... That's... Why can't you just say that?
I could have, but that would not be fun for me. And when we do this, we're going to start a 1-hour timer.
Oh, okay.
Because this is going to be in here at that temperature for 1 hour.
I feel like we have such a diverse beer.
We're going to check the temperature of this pot every 15 minutes to find out where it is.
Okay.
If it needs a little bit more heat, we'll put some heat on it. All right, so that's... Now we wait.
Now we wait. Want a beer?
Does one of those have my name on it?
Yes.
Okay, watch this. on your belt buckle.
I can do that, huh?
Cute. Do you know how to open a beer with a piece of paper?
No, I don't.
I'm going to show you. Do we have a piece of paper about it? In my elementary school, we were taught a lot of things. I went to
Please tell me you learned this in elementary school.
If you fold a piece of paper like that, that's called hamburger style. Does this sound familiar to anyone?
No.
Does anybody watching know this?
No, okay, our director is not.
Yes.
Right.
And what is this one called?
Taco?
Hot dog style.
Hot dog style.
There's a little story to help you remember this. You're in Belgium,
Oh,
you just bought a nice beer,
Okay.
and you really need to get your beer open, but you don't have an opener.
Okay.
You happen upon a little hamburger stand, and the guy says, I will tell you how to open that beer with a piece of paper. But
Okay.
first, try one of my hamburgers.
So you folded hamburger style, okay.
Open the beer for me, dude. He's like, wait, my brother has a hot dog stand right down the street. You have to try one of his too, because they're really good. And you're
Okay.
like, all right, so you go down,
Fold it long ways.
you have a hot dog. Okay, good hot dog, tell me how. Just have one more because I just released this new recipe today. I would like you to try that. So you have another hamburger. And he's like, okay, that was great, but hamburgers are bigger than hot dogs, so you should really go down and have 2 more hot dogs to even it all out, right?
it all
So you're like, Jesus, fine.
So you're in a meat coma at this point.
You have a hot dog, you find it very difficult to eat the second one, but you just barely manage to stuff it down.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
You go back to the hamburger man, all right, I ate the dude's hot dogs, tell me how. He says, wait, just one more, I swear to God, I will tell you how to do this after you have one more hamburger.
Okay.
And you almost vomit, but you get the last hamburger down.
Okay.
Now, with your thumb here as the fulcrum, you're going to create I believe this is called a third class lever.
You actually know the class? I
Yes.
just knew it was called a lever.
And I'm going to pry. A beer has been opened
That was awesome.
with a single sheet of paper.
That is impressive. I thought my belt buckle was so cool, but the sheet of paper, I'm digging. I like it. That was nice. Thank you.